I used this Stoic trick in a job interview, and you won't believe what happened. Imagine walking into a job interview for your dream position. Your palms are sweaty, your heart's racing, and you're convinced you're going to blow it. But what if I told you there's a 2,000-year-old trick that could turn your anxiety into your secret weapon? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have a foolproof strategy to ace any high-stress situation. We've all been there. The sleepless night before a big interview, the constant second-guessing, the feeling that everyone else is more qualified. But here's the kicker. Those feelings aren't the problem. It's how you're looking at the situation that's holding you back. Enter the Stoics, ancient philosophers who were basically the original life coaches. These guys figured out how to stay cool under pressure way before it was trendy. So let's break down how their wisdom can transform your next job interview from a nerve-wracking ordeal into your time to shine. First up, we've got Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most respected philosophers in Rome. His big idea? The dichotomy of control. It sounds fancy, but it's actually super simple. Here's the deal. You can't control whether you get the job. You can't control if the interviewer is having a bad day. You can't control if another candidate has more experience. But you know what you can control? Your preparation, your attitude, your responses. Mind-blowing, right? But here's where it gets really good. By focusing only on what you can control, you immediately reduce your anxiety. It's like magic, but it's actually just ancient wisdom. Practical step number 1. Before your next interview, make 2 lists. One for things you can control, one for things you can't. Focus all your energy on the first list and let go of the second. Now let's talk about Marcus Aurelius. This guy was the emperor of Rome, but he still made time to journal every day. His advice? View challenges as opportunities for growth. Think about it. Every interview, whether you get the job or not, is a chance to improve, to refine your responses, to practice staying calm under pressure. Here's where it gets mind-bending. What if you started looking forward to interviews? What if instead of dreading them, you saw them as your personal growth accelerator? Practical step number 2. After every interview, successful or not, write down 3 things you learned or ways you improved. Watch how quickly your skills skyrocket. Last but not least, we've got Seneca. This guy was all about facing your fears head on. His technique? Negative visualization. It sounds depressing, but trust me, it's a game changer. Here's how it works. Instead of just hoping for the best, you visualize the worst possible outcome. You don't get the job. The interviewer hates you. You spill coffee all over yourself. But here's the twist. Once you face those worst-case scenarios in your mind, you realize something profound. You'd survive. Life would go on. And suddenly, the actual interview doesn't seem so scary anymore. Practical step number 3. Before your next interview, take 5 minutes to visualize the absolute worst that could happen. Then, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you'd be okay even if it did. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but does it actually work? Well, let me tell you a story. Last year, I was up for a job I desperately wanted. The night before, instead of tossing and turning, I applied these Stoic principles. I focused on my preparation. I viewed the interview as a growth opportunity. I visualized and accepted the worst-case scenario. The result? I walked into that interview calm, confident, and ready for anything. The interviewer actually commented on how composed I was. And guess what? I got the job. But here's the real kicker. Even if I hadn't gotten it, I would have walked out of that interview proud of how I handled myself. And that, my friends, is the true power of this Stoic approach. So here's your challenge. Apply this Stoic mindset to your next 3 high-stress situations. It could be a job interview, a first date, or a big presentation. Journal about the difference in your anxiety levels. I guarantee you'll be amazed at the results. Remember, you have the power to transform your anxiety into your secret weapon. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. Isn't it time you put their wisdom to work for you?